I love to share with you a few tips on how you can grow your fashion brand and develop your sales even if you don't have much money.
Bonjour les amis, my name is Bako Rambini. I'm the founder of Fashion Cross Functional, in short Fashion FXF. I'm also the author of a book called The Fashion Business Plan, and my goal is to help fashion creators, fashion designers, fashion business owners just like you to grow their fashion brand. So today we're going to talk about how you can grow your fashion brand even if you don't have that money to invest. To be honest with you, starting a clothing business is hard work. You put in long hours designing and creating garments that you hope will sell. But once your business is up and running, the question is, how can you make more money, right? Here are some tips. In this video, I'm going to share you some tips to help you bring in more revenue and grow your brand. When I grew up, my family was in the textile industry. It failed tremendously, and also for most of my life afterwards, I spent the rest of my life trying to figure out what makes a brand successful, what makes actually a company successful. And I read a lot about it all from different angles, and I got to talk with experts as well, and as I got experiences with fashion brands, both established as well as smaller brands, and I talked to those people who know exactly how things are supposed to be done. But also I talked to less fortunate cases where they had no idea why they're not doing well, because they just didn't know how the business works. After carrying out this work, what I found out is really simple. There's a huge misconception where struggling fashion brands keep focusing on bits and parts of their business, although they should see it as a whole. For example, really struggling brands keep focusing on production only, or just likes on social media, their website, and then they get overwhelmed with that. Whereas more established brands, or even small and medium-sized fashion brands but that do well, have a broader view with their goals and a stronger vision that impact all the parts in their company. The difference with the smaller and struggling brands is that they understand that some tasks may seem separate from others at first glance, but everything is actually cohesive in a fashion brand. It's a cohesive system that needs to be monitored properly. So in order to be successful as a fashion business, do what successful fashion businesses are doing. Again, to be successful as a fashion brand, do what successful fashion businesses are doing. And what are they doing? They all start with a strong vision, and then they pull the thread. This is why I created the Iconic Fashion Brand Formula. It's an easy framework to find this common thread between all of the different bits and pieces that make up your fashion brands, so that it's really simple for you to shape something that's cohesive and that makes sense and that will be so tempting to buy from. Because if you don't do this work, selling afterwards will be just a nightmare. So in this framework, I focus on 3 money-making pillars of a fashion brand, which are vision, strategy, and processes. Let's start with vision first. You can't grow a fashion brand without having an inspiring vision. Or actually, you can. However, it will be very, very difficult for you to sell afterwards, because the less you work on this inspiring vision, the more you will have to knock on doors and to beg people to buy from you. And this is not exactly what we're doing here, right? I want to make this process very easy for you. But for this to be easier for you, so the sales part to be easier for you, you need to work on an inspiring vision. The first step to create your own style is by defining what you want it to look like and what you want your customers to feel. And this will help guide all of the decisions that go into building out this new identity over time. Your vision needs to be defined and polished so that your fashion brand can reach really its real actual impact and its potential impact. To truly stand apart from others, ask yourself questions, meaningful questions. Other than that, here's my logo, here's my color, of course, my signature color. Of course, it will be important, but push it furthermore. Ask yourself, what am I uniquely qualified and passionate about? What kind of audience would naturally want that type of clothing in their wardrobe? What kind of shape, color, texture can you use to touch specifically these persons? For example, I used to work with a brand that had a fabulous travel wear that was so easy to fold, and it was you didn't have to iron it afterwards. It was very practical. So we really looked for the kind of customers that will wear that in our audience. We had an audience of different groups of customers, but we were targeting the customers who traveled a lot and who we knew would have a lifestyle that is very hectic and dynamic, so that they would be super happy working and having those clothing that were very practical and yet very elegant as well. Then you can also ask yourself, what kind of tone will you use to communicate with your customer? Which cultural references can you appeal to connect with them? Because if you don't connect with them, you won't be able to sell. The more you're able to connect with them, the more natural it will be afterwards to sell, because you are not forcing a product on them, right? So why should people care enough about your clothes or your lifestyle choices? But vision is not just pretty face. It's what drives your company. It's what will drive you to go the extra mile. Having clear goals is what will drive your company to growth and to success, because you will need to be very consistent over time. And we all know it's not easy every single day. You have to wake up every single day. And if you don't have a vision that pulls you out of your bed and makes you do the stuff and keeps you believing it, even if it's hard. So vision is key, not only to connect with your audience and your customers, but also to pull you out of your struggle and to push you to do the things that you need to do every single day. And also, it will tell you what kind of action plans you need to implement. With the one-on-one programs that I offer, I work on your vision. Like, I work with you hand in hand to define and fine-tune this vision. First, the brand DNA, to make sure that you're defining one DNA that makes sense with your design and your collection, but also your business goals. Once we are done with the DNA, we look at your vision as a business owner, and we make those business goals measurable, actionable, and realistic, so that you are not running after too big of a goal, and so that you still are able to maintain the pace, even if it's getting a bit difficult, because trust me, it will become a bit difficult on the road. The second pillar that you absolutely need to implement, that you absolutely need to work on, is your strategy. A strategy gives you a plan that is actionable with clear steps, so that by following this guide, all the goals can be accomplished in an organized manner with a time frame and a budget that you can define on your own and that you can follow. I'd like you to be very careful about one thing though. This thing that makes or breaks your entire fashion business strategy and vision have to work closely together in order for your strategy not to be just a series of disconnected ideas, but rather a meaningful plan, something that is strong, cohesive, with a clear, distinctive direction. What does it mean concretely? Concretely, it means, for example, that if you call yourself a luxury couture brand, don't open your pop-up store in a district where luxury couture buyers don't go. If you want to make money, go where they are. Don't go to a different district just because the rent is cheaper. So this business roadmap is something really to be defined and followed up. And I do that with the brands, the fashion brands that I coach on one-on-one. Actually, this all this work follows a work stream, a process that I describe precisely in the fashion business plan. If you want to do it by yourself and on your own, I think you should get the fashion business plan, because there you get all the strategy and even how to implement your vision, and how you can define your vision, and how you can implement it, and how you can make and define those strategies. The third pillar that you absolutely need to work on is your process. When you have a strong vision and an aligned strategy, the day-to-day tasks seem less daunting. You'll feel empowered knowing that they're in line with your goals, and the processes, they will tell you how to do all those things on an. It will save you lots of time and money. For example, you can segment your customer database by interest groups and automate your systems so that it sends customized offers. This is feasible, and this is something that is really smart to implement, because then you can talk to your clients in a really, really personalized way. It's tailored to the profile of your customers, and they won't feel totally disconnected when they receive your email. I'd love for you to check on my one-on-one programs if you want to know more. You can also DM me to get more information about the iconic fashion brand formula and how you can implement it with me with those one-on-one programs. So, see you later.